Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates on anything and all things Ravens. Please make sure to keep subscribing to the channel and like the videos. Quick little update for you guys. So after the MRI was over, John Harbaugh did confirm that Isaiah Likely had suffered a small foot fracture and he will be out for 6 to 8 weeks. We dodged a bullet here, I believe, because again, there is still plenty of time to recover, and time to get back out on the field. So we are looking at a real possibility of still seeing him put the pads on for Week 1 against the Bills. Personally, I think that he'll be 100% ready for that game, but we'll have to wait and see. If not, he'll definitely be strapping up for Week 2. But again, dodged a bullet here. He's going to be taking a few weeks off, but at the same time, it could have been way worse. We could have seen an ACL tear or something like that. Knock on wood for any of that, because we don't want any of that. We cannot go through any of injuries like we had in like the 2021 season. Holy moly, when we lost pretty much everyone. So it's we dodged a bullet here. Isaiah Likely, rest up, man. Hoping to see you strap up the pads Week 1, and we're glad that you're that you're going to be able to play as a Raven, and we're glad that the injury isn't as serious as it could have been. Moving on now, camp always has injuries, and especially I feel like after the 2021 season, the Ravens are just playing it super safe with their players now, not underestimating any injuries that are happening. But Zay Flowers went down yesterday with an injury, walked off under his own power. But John Harbaugh did comment on that and saying that because he wasn't at camp today or yesterday, and Harbaugh did say that it was a camp type injury and he'll just be back in a couple of days. So, but again, I love the way that the Ravens are doing this because they're not letting anything go to waste. This team on paper is still the number one best team. And I believe, and I 100% believe, Ravens know that. So they're trying to everything in their power to make sure that all players that are healthy stay healthy, and any players that do suffer an injury in training camp are taken care of, and we're making sure that we aren't going too hard and pushing it to the limit here or beyond the limit here. So any a scare that does happen, they're on top of it and making sure that the players are kept comfortable and making sure that there's nothing really scary that does happen. We had Isaiah Likely, but again, nothing to be too concerned here. Zay Flowers will be back in a couple of days. I expect him to be back probably by so maybe at the earliest Friday, at the latest we'll see probably Monday or Tuesday. So nothing to be too concerned here. He didn't specify what exactly the injury was. It's just a camp type injury. So again, nothing to be too concerned about here as well. Rest up, Zay. We'll see you at the latest next week, at the earliest on Friday. Moving on, offense yesterday did look sloppy. It looked like it wasn't syncing and no chemistry there. But again, there were no veterans for this, or minimal veterans for this type of practice. Or scenario. So they were I think what the Ravens were looking at is the type of scenario where the rookies and anyone new had to step up and show them what they can do in a sense. So this was a practice type of scenario. So, again, it can be a little bit frustrating to watch because again, you want your team to succeed, but again, the scenario, this was I'm pretty sure, because we're looking at all the options here, that the Ravens went with this type of scenario just to see who could play well, who was struggling, and especially in a scenario where there was no minimal veteran or no veteran presence to help lead or guide them. So again, it's not the end of the world to hear about this, and I would assume that it's just a scenario that they ran with just to see again what who like was, you know, doing their part and who was not doing their part at the same time. Jeff said there had a live tackling periods in practice when the young players were on the field. It was just a slog. It was hard to watch pretty much. So, but again, it's just a scenario. There's no need to panic here. The Ravens are obviously going to be in sync, and we're still pretty early in training camp anyway. We haven't even gotten to the scrimmages yet, so with other teams. So, again, nothing to be frightened about here. This was just a practice scenario that the Ravens went with just to see, and as everyone probably expected, it just didn't look good. But again, that's to be expected. But the one person that did stand out in this slog fest was LaJohntay Wester. He was making plays. He was the only, according to Jeff, he was the only good bright spot on this practice scenario. So this is good for him. His stock is up. I've advocated that he will get a roster spot as a wide receiver. Obviously, he is a wide receiver, but I'm saying in the sense of he will still take reps as wide receiver, but his main purpose is going to be for, you know, punt returns and kick returns. But I'm hoping that he's able to take on a much more presence in the wide receiver core, where, you know, he could line up, overtake, you know, I don't want to say overtake, but he'll be taking similar reps to Tylan Wallace. He'll be like able to, you know, get some, maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns in from Lamar Jackson, and, you know, be able to show himself as the wide receiver he was when he was on the Colorado Buffaloes team. So again, great job to see Wester really putting in the effort and becoming a bright spot in this practice scenario. So just really his stock is up, and I have been advocating for Wester to be another wide receiver to Lamar to throw to. He probably will, but I'm saying in the sense of, you know, you got Tez Walker, whose stock is up. You already got D-Hop up there. You got Bateman, Flowers, Tylan Wallace. So it's going to be a little bit tough for him to get some reps in, but if his stock is rising, it just looks good for him. And I'm advocating for the Ravens to make sure that they see the talent in wide receiver as well as a punt and kick returner. Thank you for tuning into Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the videos. Have a good one, everyone.